Hi guys, welcome back to Share's Cool Beans, and in this video I'm going to be taking you through the Pgce interview process. So I've had 3 Pgce interviews as of now, and I've accepted the choice and everything, all of that. And all of the interview processes have really been the same. So I'm going to be taking you through that, especially given that they're kind of different now due to the pandemic. And I don't know how long it's going to carry on for, but I'm guessing it's not much different to if you were going into a school or something like that. So let's get straight into it. Obviously, I'm going to ask you to like, comment and subscribe. I've done a couple of Pgce based videos, so if you want to check that out, click the link above. Obviously, subscribe. I think I just said that, but you really need to subscribe and like and comment down below. Okay, so the interview process obviously starts with you applying to the university there. And then if you're successful, you will be emailed about them asking you to attend an interview. Now, either before your interview or at the beginning of your interview, when they start talking to you, you may need to give a presentation. They'll most likely give you the topics of the presentation before the interview starts, just to give you a bit of time to prepare and whatnot. So for one of my interviews, I had to talk about what object would I use to stimulate a child's interest in learning, and it was a 5-minute presentation, and I just picked out a drama mask I had in my room, and I just spoke about how I could insert this object for, creative writing or something, a topic on creative writing, how I'd lost the mask. They need to help me find it by solving these riddles, and once they had found it, they can write an article about how it was found and what they had to do to find it, etc. To be honest, I didn't really like that type of interview, because even though I am a TA in a school, it's just I'm not really practiced in giving lesson plans. I've had my own groups of work or something, but how am I supposed to know how that would stimulate a child's interest in learning? I think that's something you establish a lot more when you actually become a teacher, but it was a useful thing to do. For my second interview, they gave me a list of topics I could talk about beforehand, and the topic I chose was the lack of male teachers in early years and primary education. And that's kind of because I'd done that topic for my master's dissertation, so I just have loads and loads and loads to say, and for me that was quite successful. The interviewers looked really engaged and everything, so I think that went really well. But they usually invite you a week beforehand. So today, for instance, is the 6th of February, and then say, oh, come to this interview on the 12th of February or whatever. So you'd always have a week ahead to prepare. So after the interview takes place, let's say for my second interview, for instance, they introduced themselves and I introduced myself. Then we're like, right, you're going to do your interview now, and then we'll get straight into the actual interview. So during the actual interview, they're going to ask you topics surrounding the Pgce, obviously. So why do you want to become a teacher? What's your understanding of safeguarding? What makes a brilliant teacher? If you want to know all of the questions I was asked during one of my Pgce interviews, click the link above. They also may refer to your presentation. So they may say, oh, for example, you said this during your presentation. How has that affected your experience as a TA so far? So for that, I just spoke about how children's behaviour is different towards female and male staff members. they may fool around a bit with certain female staff members, but when a male comes in, you know, sometimes they might even act intimidated because there's not many male figures in the school. So yeah, they'll ask you a few questions about your experience, why you want to become a teacher, and also why you've picked this specific route, because obviously Pgce isn't the only route you can take into teaching. You can do Pgce with Schools Direct or School Centred Initial Teacher Training, or you might be actually applying for primary education bachelor's degree. So there's so much ways to get into teaching, and they're most definitely going to ask you why you picked the specific route that you've had. After the presentation, and this is over Zoom of course because there can be technical difficulties, they need you to set 2 hours aside, usually straight after the interview or half an hour after the interview is finished, to complete a skills test. Now, we all thought we got past this because they said they scrapped the skills test as of like September 2020. Anyone who was applying for September 2020 didn't need to take a skills test. Well, they lied, because for every single interview I've had to take some type of skills test. I think it's a thing where I think this type of skills test that they have now isn't so that say if you don't get 80% in your maths test or literacy English test, it's not a case that you don't get through. It's just something they may work on you with, like skills enhancement, when you actually get onto the course, if you do. So that's a good thing, but you know, it's still quite stressful. I remember in my first interview when I done the maths and English assessments afterwards, they were actually pretty straightforward. I didn't really have a problem with those. They weren't very challenging at all. It was just like the basics. The second interview I had, the maths literally threw me out the window. It was like A-level maths or something. Now, I got a B in my GCSE maths, but I don't know what the hell this kind of maths was. Like, it was on another level that I couldn't even remember. So I'd say definitely do maybe like 2 or 3 days revision around maths, you know, just like some past revision papers. There's many YouTube videos about the QTS skills test, so that can be really helpful as well. But yeah, the English tests are usually straightforward. It's usually telling you to write an essay on the given topic. So for one of the questions, I had to talk about the current events in education right now and if the government's doing enough. And in the other English test I had, they gave me a statement saying exams should be scrapped. Do you agree or disagree? And there was like a given article about somebody from Ofsted who said it should, and like just given your past experience in education or just reading around subjects, do you agree or disagree? And so those are pretty straightforward for me. The only thing is that they are time constrained, like you have to do it in an hour, and I am a slow writer. I'm a good writer, but I'm a slow writer, so that's the only thing that kind of throws me off a bit. But other than that, the English tests are pretty straightforward, but maths, definitely watch out for maths. So after you've completed those, you might hear back from your provider on the day of or the day after, hopefully saying you're successful. Now, another thing I didn't really know before I'd applied to do my Pgce is that you get as much choices as you want, technically. So obviously you get your first 3 initial choices, and say you're unsuccessful in those, or you withdraw your choice for some reason, or say they didn't have enough places on the course. Like that's referring to Schools Direct, really. That happened to me. Like there's literally no funding for Schools Direct salary group, which is so annoying. But yeah, so if you're unsuccessful, you'll always get an apply to choice. And even if you use that apply to choice and you're not successful or there's no places, they'll just give you another one and another one and another one. So you'll most definitely find the right provider for you. So I hope you enjoyed that video. Check out my other couple of PGC interview videos, and obviously subscribe, comment and like. Give me all your tips and experiences down below. Let's join this journey together. Let's walk the road together. We're going to do this. It's going to be tough, but we're going to get it done. And if you think about it, September next year, like, some of us will be teachers, NQT teachers. That's crazy. So join me on this journey and subscribe. Bye.